Today, we're diving into 3 terrifying cave exploration stories that ended in disaster. He went into the cave head first, and it nearly became his grave. In this video, we're exploring 3 real cave incidents that spiraled into terrifying nightmares. Each one is unique, and the last story is so bizarre it seems pulled from a fever dream. As always, viewer discretion is advised. And don't forget to subscribe. On March 21st, 1996, Randy, W. Sam, and Eric geared up for a caving trip unlike any other. It was Eric's first time underground, and his excitement rubbed off on the rest of the group. They chose Fault Cave near Denver, a site infamous for its unforgiving layout and creepy echoes that bounced off the stone like whispers. Locals had given eerie nicknames to parts of the cave, including the notorious Crack of Doom, a slot so tight and dangerous it had trapped many before. The group wasn't exactly decked out with professional gear, just basic lights and essentials, but the adrenaline made up for the lack of preparation. Randy had done a few caving trips before, but this was brand new territory for Eric. They hiked through thick forest to the cave's mouth, where jagged rock walls swallowed them into darkness. Inside, the passages grew narrower. Dust that hadn't been disturbed in years kicked up around them. As they crawled deeper, the air thinned and the cave seemed to close in. Every inch forward meant tighter squeezes and heavier silence. Then they reached it, the Crack of Doom. It was a slender vertical slot that forced cavers to position themselves carefully. Eric took the lead. But the cave had other plans. As he moved forward, his body shifted into a downward angle, head first, and within seconds, he was stuck. The more he moved, the worse it got. He tried to wriggle free, but gravity worked against him. Each breath made the rock feel tighter. His neck strained, his lungs compressed. The jagged stone pressed into his ribs, and dirt clogged his throat and nose. Panic surged through him. Sam and Randy tried everything. They pulled at his legs, repositioned his arms, but Eric was wedged so tightly that any motion threatened to injure him more, especially around his neck. Every second mattered. His breathing was fast and shallow. He was losing strength. Realizing they couldn't get him out alone, Randy scrambled out of the cave to find help, leaving Sam to comfort Eric and keep him calm. Above ground, Randy contacted Jim Neely, a local caving expert. Within hours, a rescue crew of firefighters and experienced cavers was on site, crawling back toward Eric's position. By the time they reached him, Eric had been stuck for hours. He was cold, exhausted, and barely responsive. The rescue team had to work smart. They couldn't use drills or tools. Anything that shook the rock might send debris down onto Eric's head, worsening the situation. So they took another route. First, they removed his clothing to reduce friction. Then they coated his entire body, inch by inch, with Vaseline. The goal was to make him slippery enough to slide out naturally. Inside the cold, damp tunnel, they worked in complete silence. Time was critical. The temperature made hypothermia a real risk. Eric's position, upside down and partially crushed, was draining him rapidly. Slowly, the rescuers noticed a change. Eric's body began to shift. Barely at first, but enough to give hope. They didn't stop. They kept applying Vaseline, covering every possible surface. They knew one wrong move could cost him his life. And then, with one last push, he moved. Eric slipped free. He was scraped, bruised, and trembling, but alive. The team helped him walk out of the cave, his legs weak but moving. The hike back down the mountain was slow, but he made it. No stretcher needed. Eric's first ever caving trip had nearly killed him. He had survived the Crack of Doom, a place he'd never forget.